off. Fuck off.
Show the camera.
Fuck off. That's literally impossible. That they like, you can't actually do that. How do you do that? You just did it again, and that proves to me that I have no idea how that works. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Straight off the bat, I'm going to show you every single card in this deck, because from this point on, Kaylee, can you hold your hands out? Mm-hmm. They are going into Kaylee's hands.
Can I see them?
Yep, you can go ahead and look through them. I'm going to do something that I don't do in these Fooler episodes, and that is I'm going to tell Kaylee the name of the effect up front for two important reasons.
Okay.
This is the Atomic Deck.
Oh, yes.
Finally.
Finally, after 9 million years.
If you're a long-time watcher of the channel, you will know that any project that I create or I work on that I'm a part of that is going to be a full episode, Katie doesn't see it performed until the day off.
Now.
You get one take.
Until now.
This one I've been talking about with Craig on the phone and the boys for years.
Years.
So I'm telling her up front for two reasons. One is the usual, which is that, Katie, can you confirm to everyone at home that this is not set up and I have not performed this on you?
Not at all in the last 4 years.
The second and more important reason is that I am acutely aware that I have around 115,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. It's very daunting, yeah. I know that these fuller episodes, when they involve a product that's for sale or going to be for sale at Blackpool or the 17th of February, I know that my videos, probably more than most, get the most views, and most people decide whether they're going to buy these products or not based on these videos. And they carry a lot of weight, and it's a lot of responsibility. So, not that you ever do, but more so than ever. Well, look, the closest we get to faking videos is that, and there's like a bank of like 4 or 5, is that somebody that I love has sent me a trick they've spent a long time working on. I perform it on Kaylee, and she absolutely hates it and sees through it.
Sorry.
So
they don't go out though.
Those videos never see the light of day.
Negative.
But this is not a negativity channel. We're not here to spread meanness. However, those videos just don't get aired. No. This is the exception to the rule. If you hate it,
if it's shit, I can say it's
shit. Be honest, as always, warts and all, the good, the bad, the ugly. But there's a lot of people potentially going to spend their hard-earned cash on the Atomic Deck, and they are not here in person to see it themselves and decide for themselves. Be their eyes, be their honest mind.
I will.
Cool.
It's a really good start, because I'm guessing it's a card trick and I hate card tricks.
Yeah. With that being said, let's dive straight into it. 4 years, one take.
He's nervous. I can tell.
Okay, really simply, and because I don't want anything to go wrong, because that has happened in videos in the past.
Yes. I
don't want you to forget anything. All I want you to do, so I'm just going to write this down in my notes as you say it, so that...
Because I have baby brain.
Yeah. Just think of, and you can take your time, you can change your mind as many times as you want. I'll give you the chance to change your mind as many times as you want. Think of any playing card and think of any number.
So it's an A-can.
It's an A-can. Yeah.
So I know that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let me think. Okay. I've got to pick a card, but you're not going to think that I'm going to pick as well. I'm going to go with the 10 of Hearts.
10 of Hearts.
Why is my tongue coming out already? I'm like concentrating. I'm like, ugh.
And a number.
Okay. 10 Hearts at number 32.
32. Okay, can you all see that at home? Just so you can remember if you forget it. That has happened in past videos.
Yeah.
So this is the important part. This is what I love about the Atomic Deck so much. Okay. At this point, most magicians will just take the cards and start dealing down.
Yeah.
I, hand on heart, I'm going to give you free reign, if you want to, and you don't have to change either the card, the number, both, or neither. All I want to ensure is that when I perform this effect, you don't think that anything was psychologically influenced or that we even got lucky in any way, shape, or form. I want you to be absolutely wholeheartedly satisfied that you had all the freedom in the world to think of any card and any number.
Mm-hmm.
This is not set up in advance.
No.
What do you want to do? Do you want to stick? Do you want to change your mind?
I'm going to stick.
Okay, there we have it.
I always go with my gut, and this is
so
my
say
gut.
to yourself a few times, 10 of hearts, 32, don't forget it.
10 of hearts, 32.
Okay, 10 of hearts, 32.
10 of hearts, 32.
Okay, it's on my phone if you forget.
I'm going to be
And then
everyone's
pan the
eyes.
camera down.
I'm not going to look at the camera now because I
Hey,
need
keep
to
those
see
cards
this.
in full view. Don't let them move. There are no cuts, no shifts, nothing is going to happen to these cards. I'm going to pan the camera down just a little bit. Oh, look at that baby bump. Look at the baby bump. Look at my baby bump. Hold your hands up like a table for me. Look, I burn these cards, everyone.
I am. Don't worry.
No shifts, no cuts. Really important. Okay. Everyone, look, come a bit closer, You can sort of see where the hands are on camera.
I'm not looking.
Okay, normally I would cut and jump ahead here, but I want you to be able to see everything. Okay, so nice and slowly, I'll go so everyone can see. 1, 2, make sure 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll speed up. What was the number again?
10 of hearts.
At
32.
Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32.
As if this is going to work.
You thought of any card,
Yeah.
any number,
Yeah.
no sleight of hand. The deck was in your hand, unboxed from the very beginning.
Yeah.
No cuts, no shuffles, no shifts.
No.
10 of hearts at 32.
Shut up.
The Holy Grail.
That is nuts, actually. How the fuck? Okay, so my... Okay. Okay. How many times can you say okay? Okay. That's a bit fucking crazy, that is. I fucking hate card tricks. But that... I can't even... How did that work? How did that work? Like, you didn't shuffle it. I didn't shuffle it. Like,
You had the complete free choice to change your mind at any moment for the card, the number.
This is nuts. That is nuts. I hate ACANs, and that, I can always work them out as well. That's nuts. Okay. I can work this out. I will now. I will. I think. But there was nothing like you took them out of the box. He took them out of the box and showed the camera. And then gave them to me.
I'm just going to dive in really quickly and tell you to keep watching until the end of the video, because then I'm going to talk to you guys without Kaylee being here and tell you all the ins and outs of the Atomic deck. All the stuff you're going to need to know, the pros, the cons, the different ways in which you can perform it that suit your style. But I can't expressly talk about that stuff in front of Kaylee because I don't want to expose, and I'm not going to expose the method to her in any way, shape or form. Also, at around the 18-minute mark, I actually perform this again, so a second time to Kaylee. So if you want to see this performed again, keep watching until the 18th minute mark, and then after that I'm going to come in and talk to you about more of the finer details about the Atomic deck.
And that's all you did?
For once I'm trying not to speak over you because I know I can be guilty of that.
Hang on. So normally I'd see like it would be in some. I can't even speak. Normally, it would be in like stack or like I don't know all of stack, but I know some of stack, so I could work that out.
You know some mnemonica.
Okay. So it could be the order of the cards. I've ruled that out because it's not the order of the cards because I went through them at the very beginning, and there wasn't a shuffle. There wasn't like I burned your hands. Like I can't work that out. As an acan. That's like the simplest form of a card trick. I can't.
Yeah.
Why can't I work it out?
Because, well, really, I'm not going to tell you the method ever, I don't think. Because this is the thing that every magician is striving towards. And any card at any number where the deck is out of the box in the participant's hands, there are no shifts, no cuts,
There was
no
nothing,
sleight of hand.
like, no.
I literally dealt the cards into your hands.
And I burned your hands literally so much.
No rushing, no racing, no misdirection. No. Everything happens. And it's as clean as that every single time.
I thought it was going to be shit.
Oh, you knew it was going to be shit because we've been with it for so long.
I thought it was going to be shit. Because it was an acan. But I can't work that out.
All right, so not you. I mean, like, we do the things like creativity, bonus point, Fula, entertainment. But in this one, let's just do a rating of 100% because.
So as a lay-ish person, I always have my bank of my understanding of all the tricks that I've ever been shown.
You're a mudblood.
Yeah. That's a nice way of saying it. But I always have methods that I place on certain things, and an acan is a card trick that a lot of magicians do, and you think, right, how are you going to just do that acan without me spotting something? And I think you just do it like that because I haven't got a clue. I literally can't work that out. Like normally you'd have a double lift, or you'd have like you could see, like I'll see a flash of a palm, or he's put his hand in his pocket, so I'll think, okay, keep that in my mind, and there's like nothing. There's like nothing.
As far as I'm concerned, until magic becomes real.
That's real.
I'm not doing any mental maths calculations. I'm not doing any difficult shifts or moves or sleight of hand. You name the card, you name the number. If they want to, they can change their mind.
Okay, and sometimes also in these Fula episodes, it's easier for me when I know the method to give it a higher score. And in this instance, I just want one thing from you. I know you're not going to tell me the method.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me, as a magician,
mm-hmm.
is the method easy for you to have in your back pocket and pick it up and go, yeah, that's it, it's there?
I taught a mentalist this who doesn't use playing cards.
Yeah.
At all. I taught a mentalist this in a 3-minute voice note on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Who then went and performed it 10 times and filmed the performances that night.
Okay, so then this is the ultimate acan.
Look, it's like saying in sports, right? The goat of who's the goat in the UFC, who's the goat boxer. The truth is, there is never a greatest of all time because everyone's needs are different. So you need to meet your specific needs for you as a magician. So until real magic exists, for me personally, this is the holy grail. Yeah. There never will be a holy grail because a holy grail will be a deck of cards that you can just go into any shop and pick up off the wall, right? And you put it on the table shuffled, and someone can name a card, name a number, they pick up the cards, deal down, it's there, they put them back together, they do it again and again and again. That would be the holy grail. That is actually like a miracle. Doesn't exist.
But that is what, to me, that happened. That is it.
Yeah, there's only one thing there, which I said, which you kind of couldn't do with this, but yeah, this was
it though. That, in my mind, because I have that limit, that I have got an understanding of magic, because I have that, I always have an inkling of at least one note of something that's going on.
Yeah.
And in this instance, I can't actually work that out.
So stay tuned, magicians, because in a moment, I'm gonna tell you the nitty gritty of it. I'm not gonna expose it to you, but I'm gonna tell you things about this which you will want and need to know. No, I don't, because I don't want to spoil the effect for you. But you're gonna want and need to know before making your mind up about this. So I'm gonna try and be as open and honest as I can, warts and all, before without exposing the method in detail. However, before we get there, then you can either mark it like you usually do, or you can give it a mark out of 100%, or you can just kind of have free reign. But what is your review?
Sometimes it's hard for me to review them with creativity and Fula and all those different things. In general, if I was in a bar and someone came up to me and they did this trick and it happened exactly as it just happened, and he did it again and again and again and again, and I could see that this was happening all the time, I still cannot work out that method. And to me, with an understanding of a little bit of magic, that to me is magic, because as a layperson, their minds aren't going to go as far as mine is. So that, in my opinion, is the only thing that you need to prove that you're a magician.
Yeah, I mean, if honestly,
a good magician.
If there was a trick that it was like, right, there's a nuclear holocaust about to come down, you've got to show one trick to get your whole family into this nuclear bunker, and this is the trick that has to fool everyone. I think I don't think it's this. It's mind the name, the atomic deck, but it's this.
Yeah.
Name a card, name a number, free.
There it is.
I'm going to deal down nice and slow.
Without it, that's what I can't get over, is the fact that I can't pin a method, even a part of a method, on that. And that annoys me, because I know I'm not going to get to know.
Okay, any negatives? Because we said warts and all.
I mean, acans I hate, but if you were going to do an acan to me, just do that. Only that.
Anything you could see that would give you the method? Anything you think is fishy?
No. And this is where it's frying.
Honestly.
No, there's nothing. I had them in my hand from the time that you took them out, that you showed the camera, that you gave them to me. That was it.
The crazy thing is, I've done something really bold. I've done something really, really bold from the very beginning of the video. You aren't aware of what that bold thing is, because you don't understand. But this is the one thing that I thought would be a rough point. However, magicians know exactly what I'm on about. Katie, close your eyes. Okay, open your eyes. In the long time of testing this, unless you are a connoisseur of pasteboards, then I'll explain more when it comes to the magician part. However,
the end.
The end.
The end. Just the end.
So that's the atomic deck. 4 years, one.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Well, me and Craig have been working on this with the help of Joshua Riley and Rich Relish for the past
4 years.
And we're constantly improving it, making advancements to it, and there's a few different ways that could have been presented. I could have,
like, if you could do that again and again and again and again, like, that's all you're looking for as a spectator.
Yeah,
it's for someone to completely fool you.
Yeah. I mean, you're also looking to be entertained, but really, that's the miracle.
That's it. That is what a magician is. Like, I can tell you a card. You can tell me a card and a number, and it's there in your hand.
Yeah.
And that's it. Done. The end.
The end. In fact, actually, name any card and name any number.
Shut up.
We'll write it down this time. Name any card.
No.
Go on, name any card.
Okay, fine. I'm going to go with the 2 of clubs.
2 of clubs, yeah.
At number 15.
15. Okay, 2 of clubs at 15. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone
Fuck
be...
off if this works. Actually, just fuck off.
2 of clubs at 15.
Hang on. Let me just see this. Right, come on.
Hold your hands up like a table for me, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Fuck off! Fuck off!
Show the camera.
Fuck off! That's literally impossible. That they like, you can't actually do that. How do you do that?
Any
You just did it again, and that proves to me that I have no idea how that works. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Yeah, just fuck off.
I don't think I've heard you swear something. I mean, how much cleaner can it get?
It can't.
Any
like
card,
that.
any number.
And I've had this in my hands the whole time. Nothing has been shuffled. Nothing has been... That is just sick.
Yeah. I mean,
I am
no
going to
cuts, no shuffles, no
I'm going to
sleight
make
of hand,
a bold
no mental
statement,
nuts.
and I kind of like the ACAN if it's done like this.
Yeah.
That's how it's meant to be done.
That is, yeah.
That's the only way it should be done, really.
Yeah.
Because, especially to magicians or people with a little bit of knowledge, that is nuts. Just gotta say, nuts. That is nuts. If you don't buy it, go and watch someone perform it and it'll make you buy it.
what I personally think is that this is a moment in at least in like the in terms of ACAN, any card, any number.
That is nuts.
This is a moment in the history of the ACAN where everything after this point, it changes everything after this point. You know what I mean? This sets the standard for it.
Yeah.
This up until this moment in time. So there you go. The whole point with these Fuller episodes was never that you see me review a magic product, because apart from like quality issues, magic products, it doesn't really matter what we think of them. It matters what the audience thinks of them.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I always think of the Omnideck. So many magicians give that a bad rep. And if I had just listened to magicians' point of view on it before performing it, I would have not used it. And it's by Sean Farquhar, by the way, he's a genius. And then as soon as I started just trying it out and testing it, because I always like to be objective and think, well, if everyone doesn't like it, why? As soon as I started performing it, it was getting the best reactions ever. And it's not the type of trick that I would have created myself. It really kind of fits my style perfectly. But you also have to remember to like not be selfish with your audience, because it's not just about what you like. It's about giving them the feeling. And I know that I can create that feeling with an Omnideck and do it like that. So what I'm saying is, in the most roundabout way possible, is that these videos are what a lay person thinks of these tricks. These are the reviews, in my opinion, aside from the quality things. These are the reviews that matter, the people that you're doing the tricks to. And
it's also, I think, it's a good idea to have... I'm bigging myself up here, but I don't mean to, honestly. It's a good idea to have me spectating it, because I do have that understanding of some aspect of it. I still want to keep my slate as clean as possible, as I can. But to a lay person, like I always say to Lloyd, perform it to my dad, because he is a skeptic and he will try and work it out to the nth degree, but his mind will not go where mine does, because I have a tiny bit of the inside scoop. So if you can get somebody who has that bit of inside scoop to be fooled, then it solidifies that performance for a complete lay person spectator.
Yeah. And what I like about it is that, like, often magicians can get kind of lucky in some performances and they can just fool someone with the most basic stuff, which we all know we can do. That's not good. The most basic stuff, on the whole, is not going to work on Kaylee. As you can see from past videos, it's not going to work on Kaylee. So she's kind of got that half in, half out the door. Yeah, I know.
Except for that econ.
This is so it's very controversial. I'll say this. I know it's controversial to call this the Holy Grail. There is no such thing as the Holy Grail because real magic doesn't exist. But Mark Paul himself said this is as close to the Holy Grail as anyone's got. I stand behind that. I think that if you can do it like this every single time.
If you can do it and then do it again like that, that's just nuts to me as a spectator.
Now, of course, it's not real magic, so there are caveats, and I'm going to tell you about those in a moment.
I don't want to know those, actually. I'm fine.
But now you go off for coffee with your friends
Thanks.
while I do the rest.
I'm going to tell them about that. Bye.
All right, we just did the 2 performances of the Atomic Deck to Kaylee. She's now gone for coffee. I can finally tell you some of the inner details of the Atomic Deck, and more importantly, answer some questions that you probably have right now in your head. So the first thing I'll say up front, and I'll be completely honest about this, is that I was to an extent fairly bold with letting Kaylee hold the cards. If that was a magician, I wouldn't be as comfortable because I think most magicians, not all, but any magician that is a professional card handler, like the ones that are card specific, I would feel less comfortable with them holding this deck as they would be likely to discover the secret. However, I was pretty confident with Kaylee because she doesn't handle cards every day. She's a lay person or a semi-lay person, and she didn't know what to look for either. She'd have to think about what the method could be and then look for what that is, and she wouldn't find that. I was confident she wouldn't find that, and I let her hold that for the whole 20 minutes there that we were performing. And you can see as well in all of Craig's performances, or a lot of Craig's performances, because most people are not very interested in going through the cards. He places the cards in the participants' hands after the effect and before it, I think, in instances. And they spread through, go through it. They're not going to find it.
Cards, 21.
I don't get it. How did he... You fucking changed it twice. That doesn't make sense. The pack didn't move. You didn't move the pack.
Yeah, you can check those out.
I'll watch the whole thing on video and the 3 Hindus.
That is
Should I stop the video?
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to send it over to you guys.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Didn't move the pack.
I watched the whole thing. I zoomed right in on that.
You didn't touch the pack.
Yeah, but I changed the...
You changed.
He didn't actually change it. He just changed it.
It's an Italian company. They're expanding their business in UK. So, what is your role like?
So the coin's one thing, but that confuses the hell out of me.
I don't get it.
Because that didn't feel like sleight of hand. So I didn't see him touch it.
Sleight of hand, I was watching him just do this. It doesn't make sense.
I'm so glad you didn't go for any others. I would have been in big...
Oh my gosh.
Did anything.
That's crazy.
It's just outrageous because it's actually just a pack of cards. Fuck me. That's ridiculous.
Whoa.
That's ridiculous.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
I wouldn't let them take them home and keep them, but I have no concern about putting that in a normal lay or semi-lay person's hands. But a professional magician would probably find the secret. So there's no sugarcoating that, and that's being honest. However, you have to remember who magic is for. Magic is for people, lay people. We're not really here to fool. It's nice to fool magicians, but it's not about fooling magicians. That's not the important part. The important part is the real people out there that you perform to. Can they examine it? Yes. Second question, does it look like that every single time? The answer is yes, with one caveat. And this is something that only a tiny 0.001% minority of magicians that don't really understand magic that well care about. Because even David Berglass did it this way too. And he created the egg hand. He's the godfather of it. He has the best versions. Sometimes you deal from the face of the deck. Now, in my opinion, I tend to prefer dealing from the face because it's so much more open, and it feels like in the mind of, I get the sense anyway, that in the mind of the lay audience, that there is nothing to hide truly, because they see the face of every single card face up, and they even see, like sometimes you'll end up pushing a few over and they can see their card. If it's supposed to be 3 away, they'll see it 3 away, and you can see them like, oh, it's there, it's actually, they can see them freaking out. So even Burglass, Mark Paul talked a bit about this as well when we were interviewing him, or Craig was interviewing him about this. It talks about how, and Peter Turner, talks about how Burglass would sometimes deal it from the face or from the top of the deck. Lay people don't even think that's a thing. They're not like, oh, he did that perfect A-can, but it was from the face. Ha ha! Go to bed. Leave the scene if you think that's an issue. It's a non-issue, and personally, I think it's a bit of a bonus. But does it look like that every time? Yes, but sometimes it's from the face. But it's still, do they think of a card? Do they think of a number? Do you deal down? Are there cuts? Are there shifts? Are there any sleight of hand? Is there any sleight of hand? No, it's that clean every single time. Number 3, Lloyd. I've seen Craig using a website, or I've seen Craig having the audience film with his phone. You didn't do that. No. And this is why we didn't want certain dealers leaking information about the product early, as they have done. It's because not all the information of the product has been made available yet. One of the more recent developments is that we've created currently for Apple, but it's being developed as well for Android very, very soon, another feature, which is if you don't want people to go to a website, which I think is cool because it encompasses a bonus feature to it. And if you don't want to ask someone to film, then you can just write the number and the card down in your notes, which is something that I asked, could it be made? Because I have a lot of experience with A-cans. I have a lot of experience with Magic. And actually anyone watching this will know, it's not about me particularly, anyone will know that the amount of times lay people forget a card right at the important moment is astronomical, right? I learned this. I learned a lesson from Penn and Teller, which is Penn Gillette. When he brings someone up on stage, he always says he repeats their name 3 times so that he doesn't forget it in the heat of the moment. So when I perform Magic, I'll generally have a spectator say, I think I say it in performance with Kaylee, I'll say it to yourself like 3 times, say the card to yourself 3 times, so you don't forget it. However, when it's a card and a number, and the percentage chance of people forgetting it is even higher, because there's a lot of information, there's a lot of things happening, they're being asked to do things, and I don't need to preach to the converted. You all know the millions of times spectators have forgotten the card or the number. So it makes sense to write it down. It's nothing to be disguised. It's open, it's honest. But in this special Atomic Deck Notes app, when I write the card and the number down, it just tells me the secret information that I need to know. Because with this A-can, if it wasn't for these features that you get with it, there would be some crazy, crazy mental maths you would need to do, far more than you would need to do for any other A-can. However, we realized very early on, why waste time? Because some people can do that really well, right, for A-cans. But it's not many magicians, and oftentimes magicians who think they're good at it are not. And they end up going glassy-eyed, and they ask stupid questions, or they pause for thought, and the performance just dies. We know you'd much rather be in the moment, performing this, being able to not have to think or worry about anything. You can just be focused on your audience member and everything that you need to do to make the effect exciting. I mean, why not? Why hide it? Just use what everybody has on them and make it in an organic way. So the phone takes care of all the maths for you. You don't got to do anything in your head. So the 3 ways you can do it is by either having your audience go to a website and check the statistical probability of card and number combinations being thought of. So not because everyone knows it's 1 in 52 for any card at the deck. But you can use the research website, which just apparently has asked a pool of people to think of cards and numbers combined, and how many people think of certain ones more frequently. It makes sense, right? Because most people generally do have, say, an Ace of Spades or a Queen of Hearts and number 7 or 13 or birthdays beneath 31. So it makes sense when you're talking that, oh yeah, actually, you know what, I can tell you that I can understand, or a layperson can understand, that there really are numbers and cards that are more frequently named. So to make an honest check, they can check themselves. The beauty of that website is, you say we're looking for a really random combination, so any number under 5% is great. And that means then that they automatically change their mind without you having to ever say anything if they want to. The other version is to do that input yourself, covertly, and then under the guise of doing that, you hand your phone and say, can you film this so you can watch back later and I can use it on social media or any other thing that you want to say. And again, it's a lovely, modern, organic way to present this because A, it gets you footage to use on social media, B, it gives them footage to use to go back and look through to try and burn you and then have no answer to work this out. And C, then that's your normal in to covertly input the information and have the maths done for you. And then the third method is the new notes method, which is, to me, the most logical one out of the lot, purely because unless you've never performed magic before, you know your audience forgets the cards. And especially when they have to think of more than one piece of information, like a card and a number, they will tend to forget it. And there's nothing worse than saying, and the 30, whatever Kaylee said, the 35th card, what was the card you named earlier? And they go, oh, was it the 10 of diamonds? And you go, well, I don't know. And it just takes the wind out of your sails. You all know this. So if you leave the phone on the table and everyone can see, then at that last moment when you get a few cards away, all right, 31, 32, 33. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to name that card again. 34, 35. For the last time, what was the card you really named? Boom, 10 hearts, whatever. And then all the maths is taken care of. You've got to do nothing. And no one in the world will ever, unless you're a terrible magician, and I'm looking at a certain one out there, unless you're a terrible magician, will ever think that's got anything to do with the trick, because the cards are in their hands, everything can be done in super slow motion, zoomed in, 10x'd, nothing changes, and that's literally an aid, which makes sense. So that's no input method as well. Again, something which I think you're all going to love, and it's on Apple right now, iOS, but it will be Android soon. The next question is, can they really name any card and any number? Will every single combination of card and number work to literally begin dealing immediately? And the God's honest truth is that only 89.76% of combinations of cards and numbers work to deal immediately. In rare instances, 10% or just smidgen over 10%, 10.2% or whatever, they will need to change their mind. And I know sometimes people go about this, and I know there's a certain magician out there that thinks this is a really, really bad thing. First of all, you have to look at what the pros of this are versus having someone change their mind. But I'll quickly tell you is that people who are, and I don't mean this as an offensive thing, but people who are inexperienced with magic will complain about things that other magicians realize are the best parts. For example, unless you've performed Colossal Killer by Kent and Nepper, you will think that if the card they name is the 7 of spades, and you pull up the 6 of spades and turn around and on the back, and they're like, oh, it's a 6 of spades, and on the back it says off by 1, without performing this trick, you would think, it's a bit weak that you have to say off by 1 because it's not quite perfect. Anyone on this planet that's performed Colossal Killer will tell you, you fucking pray that it's off by 1, because being off by 1 makes the trick 10 times stronger. I don't know why. It's a switch that happens, but you know, if you performed it, and I'm preaching to the converted, you pray the cards off by 1. Depending on the version you perform, if it's with, like I said, with the website, when you do it with the website version, they instinctively change their mind. So you never have to ask them. They see that their percentage is too high and they think they haven't been random enough. So they automatically change it without you saying anything. It's beautiful. It's a really, really clever thing. But if you want them to not use the website and do one of the other handlings and you want them to change their mind, I kind of pray that they need to change their mind. And you'll notice in the performance with Kaylee, I was really trying to egg her to change her mind. Simple matter of fact is this. The more you perform, the more you realize that once they've changed their mind and they go back after, the fact that they've changed their mind is the convincer for how incredible or how impossible the trick is.
Hearts 21.
I don't get it. How did he... you fucking changed it twice. That doesn't make sense. The pack didn't move. You didn't move the pack.
Yeah, you can check those out.
I
if you want.
watched the whole thing on video and defeated it.
That is
mad. Should I stop the video?
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to send it over to you guys.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You didn't move the pack.
I watched watched the whole thing. I zoomed right in on that.
You didn't touch the pack.
Yeah, but I'm gonna change the.
You changed.
I didn't actually change it. He just changed it.
It's an Italian company. They're expanding their business in UK. So, what is your role like?
So
there's a whole
coin's one
fucking
thing,
cult
but that confuses the hell out of me.
I don't get it.
Because that didn't feel like sleight of hand. So it seemed to touch it.
I mean, it makes sense saying it out loud, but sometimes you read comments on the Magic Cafe and you think, well, some people can think, oh my God, yeah, that person's right. That is a major issue. Ugh, that spoiled it. And then you got to think, actually, no, I remember I go out and perform magic. I do magic. I know what people are like. Because you've all been there. You do a card trick and you say, I don't know, name a card and it's on top of the deck. And someone will go, what if I change my mind? I bet everyone says that card. So with this, in the rare instances that they need to change their mind, you kind of want them to. Because they want afterwards, when the effect is done, you could say, look, it wasn't just the first card you thought of, you even changed your mind. Or in fact, you'll hear people say, oh my God, that was amazing because I actually changed my mind as well. I didn't even think of the card that he tried to make me think of, or the number that I think he thought he was trying to make me think of. I changed my mind. It's a bonus. Unless you're an inexperienced magician, and I don't mean this as an offensive thing, but there are things that come into play in the real world that you can only understand from doing a lot of magic, and like being off by one is a stronger result than not being off by one. Don't ask me how. Same with this. If I see that the audience is in the rare instances, and there's one more thing to cover here, which is super important. But if it's the instant where they need to change their mind, great, perfect. Because I box it off up front, and Pete Turner talks about this in the interview with him. I say, in a moment, I'm going to have you change your mind. Now, if they don't need to, don't bring it up. But I often, like in the case with Kaylee, she didn't need to change her mind, but I was trying to force her to, or try and push her into that, because I personally think for everyone, it feels that much cleaner. Like, okay, look, you can change your mind if you want to. And if someone goes, yeah, okay, it's kind of, oh, all right, now it's getting interesting. So I was kind of trying to like gear Kaylee to do that. She didn't, but there we go. So yeah, it's one of those things, when they change their mind, it just feels a lot more open, a lot more fair. It's a non-issue. In fact, it's a better issue. The other thing is, when you perform to a group of people, then you won't need them to change their mind. Because just statistically, in the 4 years that we've been performing it, not once, ever in human history, and I'm sure there will be one person at one time in their life that may experience the lottery number, lightning bolt strike of unluck. But realistically, when there's a group of like 3 people, if you use a website, you say all of you put in a card and a number, use the website, then at least one of them will be bang on. We'll say, look, we'll use the person who's statistically the least likely for this to work with. Done. If you use an audience of people, it's 100% guaranteed. There'll be at least over half the audience standing up, ready to work with. And then again, the same with the notes input, or if you've got the covert input where you're going to ask someone to go into your camera, you can literally say, I'm going to ask you all to think of a playing card and a number. Bum, 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 bum. And then if 4 out of the group work, which is normally the case, like 90% out of, say there's 5 people and 4 out of the 5 people work, say, and you know they're all their numbers at work, you pick the person whose number doesn't work, say you're going to choose who to use for this. It just clears it off. Same with the notes input. You say, look, I'm going to write them down one by one. Write yours, whatever. And whoever's number might not work, you say, look, can you pick out of all these people who shall we use to deal? If it's a one-on-one case, we cover it as well in the tutorial, but I've realized that I'm rambling so much about this one point that there's so much more to cover. However, you kind of pray that they get to change their mind. And when it works, and it's straight off the bat, like you've seen with Kaylee, I really wanted her to change her mind for you guys at home because it looks even more clean, but she was fairly staunch on it. So anyone complaining that only just under 90% of all card and number combinations work, then I think that there are some people who are never gonna be able to change their mind. For the rest of you, I think you get it by now. And the last one, which is a recent thing which came up, Craig did a performance, and due to the nature of the method of the trick, the participants named 48. And when he dealt down, because of how the deck works, to a trained magician's eye, a couple of magicians commented saying that the portion of remaining cards looked like there was more than 6 cards there, and it looked like there was a little bit more, few more cards than there should have been. And they're right, there was a couple more. To their trained eye, they picked up on it. However, the people that actually mattered didn't give a fuck. They didn't see anything. But again, there are ways in which that if you are worried about someone that you're performing to, that's a layperson, being a savant and being able to gauge how many cards they think you should have left versus there are, the simple fix is this. Take these out of the box. Let's say I've done what Craig's done. I've dealt 48 cards and there's a pile like this left in my hand, which looks a couple more than 6 cards. I hand them the card, I say for the first time, or depending on which method I've used, because it can be a thought of card, I can say, that's the 48th card. Don't forget there's a pile here that's been dealt on the table. That's the 48th card. Go ahead, pick it up and turn it over. And as soon as they do that, I just drop these on top. And now there is no evidence, because that has just been meshed together. However, proof is in the pudding. We have the proof that lay people don't care or realise.
2 of clubs.
And you could have named any card. And that's the first time that you've said that. And this is the 48th card.
That is insane. That is. What the fuck? What? Are you laughing because you knew that was going to happen, or are you laughing at our reactions?
This has never worked before. I mean, I got to share the moment with you guys. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean,
That is insane. I literally tried to pick the one that was like the most obscure.
well, you certainly managed it. I've never had anyone named 48 ever.
Well, it's good to know. I'm testing how,
Well,
how the extremes in which you can take this.
Oh my god.
That is brilliant. May
Thank
I
you.
just say, that is
Thank you
fantastic.
so much.
That is
Well
Thank
done.
you so much.
But I know picky magicians out there may be, and I don't think it's actually being picky. I think in this instance they are right to at least ask about it and say, actually, you know what, as a magician I can see there's a couple more cards there than there should be. I think it's valid, but the proof is there that participants don't realise their heads and their minds are in different places. They're focusing on that card. B, if you are worried, you just drop the deck on top, and now that has gone. That it doesn't exist now because there's nothing for them to find. The other thing that you can do is 48 is a huge number, and you can just deal from the top of the deck. I found in the 20 years that I've been obsessed with the A-can, and of course everyone's different and everyone's gonna have a difference of opinion. I found that when you do the whole thing of, oh right, well what's that? That's 4 away from the top, so let's just deal 4 cards down. I personally find that it waters down the effect, and it's not quite the description of the A-can to me. I know it's only a tiny thing, everyone's different, I don't like it. So I will just not ask them to, but I'll say, look, that's a lot of cards to deal down from the top. We're going to be here all day. Would you want to go for a number which is a bit more interesting, somewhere maybe mixed in the middle? Again, in that effect, the 48th card worked. Craig happily did deal down. The reason why we released that performance was to show you everything, warts and all, nothing to hide. But it makes sense. It's not like you're saying to them, because you all know this if you do A-can as well. If you do A-can and the card is bang on, say they say Ace of Clubs at 43 and you're in mnemonica, which it is. Oh no, what's a better one? Let's say they say Queen of Spades at 48 in mnemonica. That's boring. Boring. I know that I myself have said that's a lot of cards to deal through. I would go for something a bit more, a bit more near the middle so we're not here all day. But it's up to you. I'm approaching this from somebody that really wants to entertain my audience. I'm not there to fool my audience strictly. I'm not there just to be like, ha, I know how that works and you don't. I actually want to have fun and keep a pace and a rhythm. So when a number is, I'm not saying that Craig did that. We kind of just wanted to show everything. But when a number's ridiculously high, then I will just add, even if I'm bang on or one card off and I need to shift something with a different method, like mnemonic, I will just have, is a high number, I will generally, I think most magicians do this anyway, I will just guide them to a more interesting number. Again, that is if I'm worried about them seeing potentially that it looks like there's a few more cards than 48, which for the record, they don't. Sorry. There's so much to cover on this, and I know there's like comments popping up. I know like one person even commented saying the website is a stupid thing because someone's going to go into the source code and pick it apart. They're not. If they're going to bother to go into the source code, they're going to bother to go online and research any card at any numbers and find out methods. But that's why we have multiple different options, things like the notes and the covert camera filming way of doing it. But look, I could be here all day answering all the observations and questions that are out there. There are some people, and we already know who they are specifically, that are going to try and tear this apart because they have a personal vendetta against Craig. Leave them to their own devices. Even though this is an ACAN, which if they actually did it, would be the best one they've ever used, they are not going to ever use it. Fine. However, I know this is not the greatest ACAN of all time for everyone because everyone is different. It's like, I've talked about this before, trying to say that who's the greatest of all time boxer or UFC fighter, you can't choose because people have different opponents in different generations that never existed. And it's the same for the ACAN. People have different stipulations. Some people only want to do an ACAN that requires sleight of hand or from a shuffled deck, completely borrowed. Some people are fine with it not being a borrowed deck because the effect can look 100 times cleaner. Everyone is different. Everyone's going to have a version which suits their style more. Some people will only want to do an ACAN that only uses an app ACAN. I don't know, something ridiculous. Everyone has their own stipulations. For me, this is the best ACAN for me personally. I can have the deck on the table in full view, unboxed, no sleight of hand, any card named, any number named. In rare instances, they want to change their mind, but that makes the effect stronger. There's no sleight of hand as I openly deal down onto the table or into their hands, and the card is perfectly at that number. That's what I want out of an ACAN. That's what I've got. Craig, me, Josh, and Rich and Murphy's Magic, we're all super, super proud of this. And like Mark Paul said, we believe this is as close to the Holy Grail as anyone's ever going to get. And let me say, one of the stipulations in ACAN is that the magician shouldn't deal. It should be dealt with the spectator. And we're all aware of that. However, when we began working on this thing and we were looking at what are the pros and the cons and what are some of the areas we feel comfortable exploiting, well, the one thing which I know one of the most popular methods out there is As He Wins ACAN. I've used it in the past. I think it's phenomenal. However, it doesn't suit my performance style. I don't want to be doing mental calculations, even though I'm fairly proficient at them, and I don't want to be doing major sleight of hand to the deck at certain moments. And it's just a my style thing because I know As He crushes with it better than anyone in the world. It's incredible. But I've also seen tons of magicians struggle at it when they think they're good at it. So for me, shifting the cards or sleight of hand, it was a no-go area. Okay, it was something we were not comfortable having in this method. So that had to be off the table. But we were comfortable with dealing. Because if you have ever done any sort of card at any number or any card at any numbers or any effect that needs dealing, if you've given the choice to the audience to ask them, and if it's like one where they can deal, if you've ever asked them, do you want to deal or do you want me to deal? Then you know a lot of audience members panic or get a bit nervous and they go, no, it's fine, you deal. They don't really want to because they're kind of watching you perform. Most people don't want to potentially mess the trick up. They don't feel comfortable. They think they're going to deal incorrectly. They feel a lot of pressure and nerves from it. And anyone that does a lot of magic will know and realize this. But the difference between the magician and the participant dealing is a it's a no issue. It's a no difference to the audience. It's not something they don't go home and think, but he didn't let me deal the cards. And the times where that would be an issue is if you were doing second deals or bottom deals or Greek deals or center deals and stuff where you're actively using the cards in a way which looks nefarious. With the atomic deck, you're doing it at your fingertips in full view and even into their hands. So any questions of is what you're doing in terms of the deal, is there anything awry here? Their own answer is no, because he did it slowly and I burnt his hands. So that's it. We feel really, until we get to real magic where you can perform 30 times in a row, a deck on the table, hands behind your back, no cuts, no shift, no sleight of hand. They name a card, they name a number, they pick it up and deal themselves. It's there. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Until that exists and real magic exists and unicorns start flying over our houses, personally, and again, this isn't going to be the same opinion for everyone, and there's no need to go to war over it. Personally, we think we're as close to the Holy Grail as we're going to get. In essence, any deck is unboxed on the table or in their hands, any card is named, any number is named, openly, slowly and carefully, with no shifts, no cuts, no sleight of hand. The cards are dealt down into their hands or on the table, and their card is exactly at their number. The atomic deck. Final thing is, this is available at Blackpool Magic Convention or available online from magic stores all around the world on the 17th of February. This was created by Craig Petty, myself, and developed by Josh and Rich Relish. We're so proud and happy, and we just can't wait for you to get this in your hands and start performing it. Thank you all so much if you've watched this far into the video, and I will see you all very, very soon. Peace.
Fucking hell. That's mental, Lloyd.
Really?
That's like the ACAN that everyone needs to do.
I know.
Everyone needs to do it like that.
Well,
it's, you can't, there's no method.
No.
To me.
No.
There's like no method.
I'm sorry, I don't tell you anything about it, but...
Don't. I don't want to know.
The only problem is it's that, like, the ACAN is essentially boring, you know what I mean? But...
Well, that's what I thought when you gave me the deck of cards, I was like, oh, fuck. And when you said pick any card, any number, I was like, oh, fuck. I'm actually going to have to say this is shit. But that's nuts. That is actually crazy.
Oh, so
like, I can't... I knew you were nervous. As soon as you were on the camera, like, oh.
But yeah, that's it, right? I think.
That's what you need as a magician, is something to go, fuck me. Like, how the hell did you do that?
I'll show you the trick, fuck me.
No, don't.
Well, I showed it to you. Also knocked it twice.
No, I'm lying.
Alright, cool. Well, I'm going to shoot the stuff now.
Okay. That's crazy.
I actually think, yeah.
You're going to tell Craig that my reaction. You're going to show him.
Yeah, I'm going to show all you guys.
That was so good.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's annoying in a way, because, like, I don't really think, very hard, like, I love working on the ACAN, it's like, it's like what I do for, like, a hobby, and it's kind of like being solved.
I hate the ACAN, and I didn't hate that.
No, but I mean, in my spare time,
I didn't even not like it.
I spent loads of time just creating ACANs, and it's kind of been, like, finished now, to an extent.
Yeah.
I have to take up, like...
My work here is done.
yeah.
You're going to have to take redundancy.
I need to take up skiing or something, to, like, as a hobby.
Don't ski, you'll break your fucking neck.